You know, I heard something really funny and weird today, and it's that most people can't cross their eyes and stick their tongue out straight at the same time. It's just so weird. Got it. Got it. We got a picture of them doing it. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's wrap it up. Let's take that picture. Post it everywhere. Thanks. I'm just kidding. Sorry, I made you do that. If you did you do it? Let me know in the comments below. I need to know. But you look cute doing it at least, because you're adorable and you know it. Well, today we're doing something a little less fun, and that's reading about creepy encounters on Reddit. The real kind and also the paranormal kind. So grab a blankie, grab a snack, and let's get creeped out. All right, first up we have, did my sweet tooth save my life? This is like if I wrote this post because I can't go a day without a sweet treat. Tell you what, I still don't know if I narrowly avoided something really bad or if this guy was just deeply unstable, but it has stayed with me for years. Well, at least we know you're okay. That's good. A stranger walked past me while I was at work one day, stopped, and asked me out on a date. I'd never seen him before. It caught me off guard, but he came across as confident and kind of old school, so I said yes. He asked if he could pick me up for a coffee date, and I agreed. Oh, what? What? Why are we agreeing to get picked up by a stranger you just met? Don't do that. Don't do that. You know, obviously I'm not, whatever happened here. But let's just hold my hand and say we aren't going to let a stranger take us for a ride in his car, okay? We're going to meet him there. We're going to Uber. We're going to take our own car. Let's not do that. When he picked me up, he already had a McDonald's coffee for me. So, okay, hold my hand when I say this again. Don't take beverages from people you don't know yet. Okay? Let's not do that either. It was from right near my house. I took a sip and immediately realized I didn't like it because there was no sugar in it. Thank God. If it's not a double-double, I don't want it. Now I see where this is going. That tiny moment is what changed the entire night for me. Because I didn't like my coffee, I stopped properly drinking it and just pretended to sip it so it wouldn't seem rude. But from that point, my brain also started questioning everything. Why would he already buy me a coffee when the whole point of the date was supposedly to go get coffee together? Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. He didn't even know how I took it. Then things started feeling off. He drove straight past where we were meant to go. I'm so glad you're okay right now. I'm like, okay, reading the story, and I'm sorry this happened to you, but I'm so glad that you're okay right now, because this is just making me feel all sorts of ways right now. Part of these are good, I feel like, for just being like, don't do this stuff because it is something you just don't think about. And I think just because I've read so much true crime stuff, I'm a bit paranoid, but it's better to be paranoid than to get taken away. He drove straight past where we meant to go. When I asked, he casually changed the destination to somewhere further away. During the drive, I also caught him in small lies. He said he worked at my local Woolworths, but I told him that couldn't be true because I'm there all the time and would have recognized him. He didn't really respond. He then started repeatedly asking if I had finished my drink not once or twice, around 10 times. Oh, there is not even a doubt in my mind that he had nefarious reasons to take you out and to give you that coffee. I just know it in my heart and soul. By the time we turned off the main road toward the new location, it was fully dark. At one point, he turned down a road heading toward bushland. I stopped questioning him at that point because something in me felt like I needed to stay calm and not escalate anything. Your gut was right. Good for you, sweetie. There was also something large and metal in the glove box that kept moving and banging, and he kept drawing attention to it. After that, his behavior changed completely. He started driving erratically, swerving from one side of the road to the other while using his elbow on the wheel. He started yelling that he was Kanye West and I was Kim Kardashian. Then he drove down a dirt road and then off the dirt road into the bush. We were driving through trees in the dark, the way I would have barrel rolled out of this car if I could. Eventually, he stopped the car right at the edge of a lake. The water was basically at the front of the bonnet of the... Is that how you say it? I don't know. Then he just sat there in silence for about 15 minutes. It's so easy, like hindsight's 2020, like just saying what I would do or what I think I would do and stuff when you're in the situation. I can't even imagine. I imagine just being paralyzed, not even like I don't even know. It felt like he was waiting for something. When he eventually got out of the car, it was pitch black outside. I couldn't see where he went or what he was doing. My heart was absolutely pounding. The second he got out, I grabbed my phone and texted my friend, telling her to call me and say we had training and not to ask questions. So smart. I also made sure to casually describe where I was in a way that made sense. When he came back and got in the car, my phone rang. My friend followed exactly what I asked. After the call, he just looked at me and said, "So, you have to go?" I said, "Yes." Then he sat in silence for another few minutes. Oh my God. Before finally turning the car back on and driving me home without saying a single word. I never saw him again. To this day, I still wonder if not liking that coffee is what saved me. If he had added sugar and I had actually finished the drink, would my life have changed completely? Genuinely, I'm so glad that you're okay. Nothing happened. But genuinely, I believe something bad absolutely could have happened, and you made the right calling your friend and just calling him out to make sure somebody else knew where you were and who he was and what was happening. Feel like the only other thing you could do is literally just call the police. I don't know, I get that you just wanted it to be calm and you wanted him to stay calm because the whole yelling about him being Kanye and Kim, it's clear he was clearly erratic in some way. Yeah, I think you made the right call, thank goodness. Oh, that is so scary. I need to see what the comments say. Comment said, "That was frightening. I'm glad you made it back safely. I'm sure you learned a few life lessons." The OP said, "Yes, unfortunately, I grew up in a small town where I didn't automatically assume everyone was a murderer." Naive, absolutely. But honestly, I'd argue that every decision I made after the few 2 minutes of that date is exactly why I made it home. Absolutely. And I don't know how old you were in this scenario, but I did, man, when I was 19, 20, or 18, whatever. There was the 4-year span where I literally just didn't think that I'd be the person or something bad could happen to me. You just feel kind of invincible if you're, I don't know, not everybody, and then you just learn these life lessons. I know I learned life lessons and I got very lucky on a couple occasions, not too different from this. So I'm not here to judge this person. I'm just glad that they learned a lesson and that they're safe. But let's read another one. All right, this one is from r/paranormal, and it is, "My dad bought a dress for my daughter, but my daughter was born 5 years after my dad died." Okay, I'm not sure I believe in the paranormal, but this experience is something that I think of often, and I would like to share it. My dad had me at 70, as unusual as that is, so when I was 20, he was 90. Dang. Dad was still getting crazy at 70. Good for him. He was sick and in bed, and we knew he was going to die soon. I'm sorry. I used to visit him every day and stay with him all morning. Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. At the time, his memory wasn't very good. He mixed up names and faces a lot. A week before he died, he told me that a while ago, he bought me a dress and asked me to look inside his closet. His wife came to help me. My dad told us where to look, and we found a baby dress size 3 to 6 months. I told him he must have bought this for one of his grandchildren or as a gift for someone else. He insisted that I have to take it. He kept saying, "It's for her, take it." which at the time I thought meant that it was for me, referring to me as her, as he maybe didn't know who I was, who he was talking to. That day, I told him multiple times that this dress was not for me. He refused to listen. I took it home and never saw it again. I probably shoved it in some drawer and forgot about it, and my dad died. I moved out. I got married. Years passed. Last April, my daughter was 3 months old. I opened the closet to pick her outfit for the day, and the dress was waiting there, folded, ready, still with the label on. I just got full body chills. I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie to you for attention. I just got full body chills right now. Our cleaning lady said she found it somewhere in the room and put it there. Oh, okay. So there's an explanation that somebody put it there, but like, what are the odds when she's 3 months old? I'm gonna cry. I don't even know these people. I honestly don't know where she could have found it, as last time I saw it was literally 5 years ago. It's even stranger that the dress only showed up when she was already 3 months, which was the dress size. I was the one who packed everything when I moved out of my mom's house, and I was the one who packed everything again when we renovated with my husband. Never saw the dress apart from the day my dad gave it to me, and I know it might be foolish, but I think it was for her. As insane as it may sound, I think the dress was for my daughter. It was, and I refuse to believe otherwise. That was absolutely for her. I think that is just a beautiful, serendipitous, intuitive moment that happened for your dad. And I don't know, I feel like there's just something in the universe that did that, and I love that, and I really want to think that it's just some divine thing that happened, and that's really, really sweet, and a moment where you can think about your dad again, and he could give her something before he got to meet her. That is so adorable and cute and heartwarming. Okay, well, I'm glad we read like a happy one. That's good. Let's see what the comments say. First, the story is great. I absolutely love that it showed back up and is blue like her eyes. That's so cool. Definitely take pictures of her in that dress and put one next to a photo of your dad. Second, your dad had you at 70, and by the time he was 90, had another wife. Was your father Mick Jagger? What are these casual details? That's what I'm saying. He's partying, man. OP said, no, my dad only ever had one wife who was his age, but they were unofficially and secretly separated for decades despite living in the same house. Damn, he's got lore. My mom was 40 when they had me. This was Greece in the 90s, and my dad was a politician, so divorcing for a younger woman would have been seen as a huge scandal. Oh, okay, he was up to something. All right, Balkan culture is harsh. Okay, they kept up appearances until the end. My mom and his wife were even friends. What? My mom and his wife, he was together with this other woman, or I guess they were separated, and he got remarried, but nobody knew about it. Interesting. I swear this would make more sense in a Boolean subreddit. LOL. Sorry for the drama. Yeah, every culture is different, but that's, regardless of all that, it's very sweet. That's very sweet that he bought a little dress for your little girl. All right, well, let's read another one. All right, next one. We're back on r/creepy encounters. Let's read. What was their intention and how did I get out alive? Okay, another pretty ambiguous title. Let's read it. An interaction I had 7 years ago still keeps me up at night wondering what I escaped from. If what I did was the reason I escaped, or if I escaped from anything at all. Okay, similar to the first story I feel like we told, and I'm glad you're okay. I was 20 years old and driving from my dorm at UT Austin to my parents' house in Dallas. It was late, I had ungodly hours in college, and I started driving home around 12:30 a.m. See, 20 years old. This is when this happens. I'll tell you what, I stopped for gas at a gas station off the highway close to Temple at around 1 a.m. I know where all these places are. I live in Texas. Hey, fellow Texan, the gas station closed and I'm the only one there. Oh my God, I don't think there's not many places that are creepier at night than an abandoned gas station, or like it's closed or nobody's there. That's happened to me several times. Wee hours of the morning. It's the scariest ever. I am turned to the pump and put my card in when I hear 2 cars coming. I turn and I see that I've been blocked in. 1 car diagonal blocking me in from the front and 1 doing the same, blocking me from the back. Oh my God. Again, I can't help but think, what am I doing in this scenario? Running. Where are we? I mean, I know Temple like in the middle of nowhere basically. Where are you going to go? Texas is flat as this is just a nightmare. I see 2 men in the car blocking me from the back, and I watch as they both get out. One stands by the passenger door, and the driver starts walking towards me. He has a very ambiguous gun in his waistband, which is horrifying. Very common in Texas, but still horrifying, especially in this scenario. I faintly hear someone get out of the car, blocking me from the front. I freeze and watch as who I now believe to be the guy in charge takes a few steps towards me. He is still a good 4T away, but notably closer than the others. He says something like, "Flattery, I can't remember, why are you out here so late? My heart's in my damn eye right now, and I'm sitting in my own home. Oh my God." I took the whole situation in, and for some reason, I cannot completely understand. I started flirting hard. Honestly, I mostly blacked out, but I remember vaguely saying something like, "I'm on my way home from college, but apparently got lucky enough to run into you. I don't blame you." Like, what do you even do in this situation? You like read the room and just see. It probably wasn't that smooth, but I was laying it on hard. Like I told the man he should take me to dinner sometime. I then give him my number, a Google voice number I had created for creeps who I suspected were going to call it with me in front of them to prove I did not give them a fake number. God, so smart. Didn't know that was a thing. I think I heard this in another story once, and somebody said that. I was like, what is that? That is so smart. Write this down. Write this down. He went from serious but aloof to serious with a smile pretty quick. Then, sure enough, he called the number to make me prove it was real. I held the phone up with a smile, and just like that, he smiles, makes a hand signal to his goons, and gets back in the car and leaves. I got into my car and cried. Then deleted the Google voice number and deleted the app because I was so spooked. Maybe dumb in hindsight. I never told anyone but my therapist, but I've never been able to knock it from my head. What were they planning? Was me fawning the thing that saved me? If so, how? Why? Did I just throw them off guard? Maybe unpredictable, kill the chase? Did they do this to other people? Has anyone else had this happen to them? Were they just trying to scare me? And is this all in my head? No. I really don't think it is. There's just no reason for them to block you in, and you're so smart to just read the room and just give it right back. Act not scared at all. I have no idea what I do in this situation, but what you did is brave. Gosh, that is so horrifying. Oh my God. Let's read the comments. First off, that was genius of you to create the Google voice number. I'm assuming because they just left after you complied, they probably would have essay you had you tried fighting, but who knows? Who knows? You just giving in killed the chase and gave them what they wanted, so they moved on. With how coordinated it sounded, they probably had done it before. You handled it perfectly, and I'm glad you made it out safely. OPOP said, "Unfortunately, that was purely the result of me previously giving out a fake number and then it being called in front of me. I think creepy men got so used to getting fake numbers, they started trying to find a way to call girls out, and it had burned me before. It was my judge of character for men I met for a while, whether they called or texted me right after I gave it, and then checked if I got it while I was in front of them. Gosh, it was what world are we living in? It's just the fact that you just have to be on your toes at every given moment, especially as a woman. It's just like so scary. But these kind of stories, it's like, it's good to know. It's just like, have that in your back pocket, have that in your tool bag, you know? It just doesn't compute to my conscious brain. Apparently it did to my subconscious, that a woman wanting it would actually deter us. Yeah, it really up, but I'm so glad it worked in this scenario. It feels so wrong that not standing up for yourself or fighting back can be what saves you, and I think that has effed up my brain for a long time. Yeah, I mean, there's so many stories that I've gone over with true crime women that have survived. I did an interview with extremely brave woman, Kara Chamberlain, and if you guys haven't seen that, you should watch it. She just tells her whole story, and I'm actually going to be doing more of those on my main channel, interviewing people who have gone through these kinds of scenarios, and that this is similar to what happened. It was just like, comply and just wait for your moment to escape. And obviously it's different in every scenario, and ideally you never go to a second location and all that kind of stuff. I think we naturally have these survival instincts, and you just have to trust your gut. And I'm so glad that this person did. Let me know what you think, and we'll read another one. All right, this next one is from r/p Paranormal as well, and it is, my uncle was murdered. A while later, my aunt took this photo. There is a photo in this, and we will show it after we're done reading the story. I've been hanging on to this for about 6 or 7 years and would love to know what you all think. In 2017, my uncle was murdered. My uncle was a recovering drug addict and had unfortunately slipped back into that scene the few years prior to his death. Long story short, one of his roommates' clients tried breaking in to steal an iPad, and things ended with my uncle getting shot. Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Now, I can't exactly remember if she sent this photo a few weeks or a few months later, and I can really go digging to find out if that's what's holding you back from believing me. It had been snowing outside. My aunt was home alone and decided to send us a picture of the snow. Within a couple of hours, my mom is blowing up the group chat, telling us to zoom in, asking us what we see. I go back to the picture, and sure enough, needless to say, my aunt was spooked. She insists that she was home alone and didn't notice the reflection before sending the picture. My aunt is a no kind of person, and even if she had done a complete 180 and personality out of grief or something, she doesn't know how to edit or Photoshop pictures like this. What made me finally decide to post this on Reddit? A couple of months ago, I asked my aunt to resend me the picture so I could show a friend. I never actually saved the original. It had been saved in our group chat files. I saved the picture to my photos and notice it's a live photo. I'm thinking, here we go. I can play the video and we'll see my uncle completely still, since in all reality it was probably something on the couch that happened to make a reflection that looked like him. But no, he moves his head to look at the camera. Oh my gosh, I know this is Reddit and a huge trust me bro, but feel free to analyze and dissect the picture. I'm confident they haven't been messed with other than the zoomed in pic of his reflection, but that was just me cropping the picture. I don't know how to post live photos to Reddit. So if someone tells me how I can post it for all of you to watch, let me know what you think. Dude, again, full body chills. Let's look at the photo. I haven't really analyzed the photo. I just read the title, dude. He's right there. That's a person. That is a whole guy. That is crazy. What is he? That is that guy. What? That's nuts. Wow. He's just hanging out with your aunt, making sure she's okay. Oh, wow. That is like one of the craziest paranormal photos I've ever seen. I need to know what the comments say. I need to know what you guys think as well. Okay. And a moderator actually said, I got with OP and saw some backing info. The story is legit. The uncle did die, as OP said. I also got a picture of his aunt's boyfriend, and it doesn't appear they are the same person being reflected. That isn't to say that they aren't, but it doesn't appear that way. Her new boyfriend is much thinner and has a different head shape, no glasses. That guy's wearing glasses. I don't care what anybody says. So she has a boyfriend now, but like he's wearing glasses. Like, what? That's so weird. That leaves the dates. Uncle passed away in October. Was the video taken the previous winter? I believe OP posed a link to the image metadata. Some of the trickiness with metadata is getting the metadata off the phone and copied recording, not any of the re-recorded videos that would be the product of social media sharing. At that point, it's getting a bit elaborate for the aunt to deliberately hoax her family by holding onto an old video like that. A skeptic like me can poke holes and never come to any concrete conclusion. But that isn't fair to OP. This is very intriguing footage, and I greatly appreciate OP for sharing. Absolutely. Holy. Another commenter said, "We've got a photo in our family of my great aunt posing in her house. She was standing in front of a mirror, and the flash reflection actually reflected the face and head of her dead son Bruce, who had died earlier that year in a motorcycle accident. I remember being a kid and my grandma would take out the picture album it was in when we would be talking about eerie things and spirits. She'd bust out the magnifying glass, and I'm still convinced it was him in the photo. Totally believe this." Obi said, "Wow, that's crazy. LOL. Also, I love your childhood memories involved looking at pictures of ghosts with your grandma. Really just makes me truly wonder what the explanation is and what might be after we die. Yeah, man, that's too much thinking for me. I think about it every day, though. I think about my inevitable death every day and where I'm going to go after I die and what I'm going to do and who I'm going to haunt. Might be you. Stay tuned." Another commenter said, "If it's really true that the photo was taken after the death of your uncle, it might be the most convincing paranormal thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, for real. Like, actually for me too. I don't know why I believe this so hard, but I really do." Opie said, "I can promise you it was. He died in November, and I think I figured out this picture was taken 3 months later in February. Honestly, I'd linked the news article, but I don't know if I want to disclose all that info, names, locations to a bunch of people on the internet. Fair? I guess if Ahmad wants to message, 'Oh, I guess that's what happened,' Ahmad got the information." Wow. Oh, and then another commenter said about the boyfriend stuff. Did your aunt have a photo of your uncle somewhere in the room when she took the picture? Maybe that was reflected somehow. OP said, "Definitely not. She lives with her boyfriend. He wasn't home at the time and it's his house. He doesn't have any pictures of anyone up. Also, kind of hard to explain, but there's too much room from the wall to the window for a picture to reflect off it. It would have been a huge picture, but put up at a weird angle. Wow, that's crazy, dude. I believe it straight up. I'm a believer. That is crazy. That's wild. All right, I think we have time for one more. Let me know what you think about that if you believe it. And if you have any photos or stories like that, I'd love to hear them down below. Let's read one more. Okay, this one is extremely ambiguous, but there's a photo and I'm a little scared. It is hiking in the PNW. Let's continue. I'm just a normal guy living in the PNW. I'm just a guy, you know? Who am I? Who am I to say? What am I to say? But I'm here on Reddit. I like this guy already. Also, what the hell is a PNW? Got to look it up. Sorry. Pacific Northwest. Wow. Literally where I live or where I'm from. I never heard of PNW. What are you going to do? I have 2 dogs and I often hike around the spring and summer days. There is a particular hike that I like to do with my dogs because the trail is along a river. They love to swim and it's one of those trails that no one really knows about. I've been hiking it for about 6 years now and I've never seen another person out there. Just men things men do. I went to the secluded area by myself where no one could hear me scream if something bad happened. I'm a guy, classic. Anyway, one of my dogs is reactive, so having a place where I never worry about running into another person or dog is perfect for me. April of last year, I loaded my dogs up and drove us to the trailhead. We got out and started hiking around. About 2 miles in, I came across a tree that someone had used red rope and large nails to tie up what I think is a cow's tongue and nail it to the tree. The way I would run in the opposite direction back to my car, speed home and get under the covers, the tongue itself was tied tightly or bound with rope. Then they used big nails to nail it to the tree. There were 2 of them on one tree. Next to the tree in the river water, there were large, again assuming cow bones, scattered. The dogs definitely started to act different. They seemed very uneasy. I looked around a bit to see if anyone was out there or if there was someone who was maybe houseless or found camp there. But there was nothing around and no signs of someone camping, trash, tent, fire, etc. My dogs kept tucking their tails and would stop and look out if there was something near. Dude, the fact that the dogs aren't going up to the tongues and trying to eat them or something, they're just scared is some witchy, what's happening? I decided to turn back. Yes, good job. Once we were fairly far from that tree, the dogs started to loosen up again. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Okay, thank God you got home and everything's fine. Jesus, my God. A, it was all just very weird, and B, I had never once seen anyone out that way. It's one of those hikes where there is a bit of a hike to the trailhead, and the trailhead doesn't look like a trailhead, and the hike itself isn't very easy. It's rocky and wet. Worth it. Once you make it out about 3.5 miles, you get a nice flat beach all to yourself. I kept thinking about it every night for about a week. I was just about to say, I hope you never went back, but the next thing on this is then I decided to go back. Okay, well, don't know about that, but did you bring a friend? At least I packed up my dogs, got ready for the hike. We just didn't bring anybody. Okay, and when I went back, I couldn't find it. But not just the tongues, but the tree. I couldn't even find the tree where they were. I was looking all over. The tree had a somewhat unique lean to it, but I couldn't find it. I felt around on the trees looking for nail holes, but nothing. I tried to look up what this could be online, and all I could find was witchcraft or satanic spells. Fantastic. Oh my God, please don't go back there. In short, it seemed like some kind of ritual to help keep spirits or people quiet. I'm not sure if the story exactly fits here in the sub, but I'm so curious to know if anyone knows more about this. I'm terrified. That is terrifying. Oh my God. Tongues. You know, it's one thing to build like a creepy sculpture in the forest, in like the middle of a trail to kind of spook somebody that walked into the trail. I've maybe done this before. I thought it would be funny. It was like where our family was. It's not like a totally public place, but I knew a bunch of family and friends that kind of walked around this area, because it's not, well, is private property, but it's not. Anyway, I built a really creepy statue, and I put it in the middle of the trail, and everybody got really scared, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And then a couple weeks later, I told him it was me. I was young. I was just a kid. But anyway, this isn't that. Okay, this is much more serious. Not a prank. This is 2 cows dead. We have to assume bones, hopefully cow tree missing. This has to be some sort of ritual, like, I don't even understand. I need to read the comments to see if there's anything about it. First commenter said, whoever done this, she is making sure that the tongues stay in place. Yeah, but they didn't because they're gone. Todd Opie said, I agree. That was the other thing that was so weird about them just being gone. I feel like the tree would have had visible holes and gouges where the tongues were. Another comment under that says, it's a centaurious spell. The tongue is meant to represent the tongue of the offender to stop them from slandering or gossiping about you. I really hope you didn't touch it. I wouldn't be touching that. Oh my God, I hope OP sees this, and then I think OP answered, I did see it, I did not touch it. Yes, Steve, thank you. Another commenter said, I agree, don't know about the origin, but definitely sympathetic magic. Cow tongues and twine can be bought at a supermarket, so the origin may not be all that nefarious. Okay. Yeah, well, I guess that's true. A lot of people feed like their dogs cow tongues and stuff or eat them. So this is a binding of someone's tongue to stop speech. The use of red suggests a protective approach, so likely to prevent speech that will cause harm. There are also, okay, so it's a good wedge. Oh, okay, go back to the forest, make some friends. That's so crazy. What? That is wild. These are also usually specifically targeted. So simply touching it is likely not going to have consequences, but I wouldn't test it. And these probably won't stay on the tree forever. After the spell has served its purpose, they will likely be ritually removed and buried. Whoa, another commenter said, 100%. I also agree that it's likely protection rather than anything nefarious given the red. I also just avoid touching anything if I don't know what the exact intent is. Like you said, there's likely no consequences for touching, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Okay? I need to up my knowledge on tongues nailed and tied to trees. I guess there is a picture I'm going to blur. Going to go ahead and blur the actual tongues. I'll show you the picture here. That is just odd. Big old tongue. Cows got long tongues. That's right. That's so sad. I got a lot of cows. That makes me sad. Wow. That is foul. Oh, here are the bones. I don't know what kind of bones those are. Hopefully cow bones. You might have come across this crime site, but based off the comments thinking it's not too bad, I got to Google this right now. One sec. Alright. Immediate Google says nailing a cow tongue to a tree is a practice rooted in hoodoo, African American folk, magic centuria. That's what they said in here. Lumi and some forms of southern root work, it functions as a binding or silencing spell. The purpose, it is a form of sympathetic magic designed to stop a specific person from gossiping, spreading rumors, lying, or testifying against the practitioner in court. The method, the practitioner typically cuts the tongue open, writes the name of their target, the gossiper or enemy, on a piece of paper and stuffs the paper inside the tongue. Tongue is then sewn shut and pinned or nailed to a tree. Variations. Sometimes the tongue is pierced with pins, nails, or a knife, or wrapped in black ribbon to enhance the spell's intention. It is most common to find these offerings left in a quiet, wooded area or cemeteries, as practitioners believe nature will carry the spell's intention forward. If you're researching this because you stumbled upon one in your area, authorities generally may recommend leaving it alone and not touching it. That's good, as it is biologically raw meat. Thank you. Wow, there's like news reports of this happening in a lot of places. So interesting. I feel like I should do a video about this. This is like a whole thing. It happens like too often apparently in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Interesting, spooky. I would sprint away so fast, making sure my dogs were with me, of course, at all times. But it's also crazy that those dogs acted the way they did. I think that is so odd. I have 7 dogs, okay? If there was a tongue tied to a tree, cow tongue specifically, like I feed them all sorts of stuff like meat, they'd eat that. They'd like go and investigate, at least sniff it and not be scared. So that's just, or maybe they would be in this scenario, I don't know, just bizarre. Has anybody know anything about this or experienced anything like this? I'm trying to think of anything I found because I grew up in the PNW and I feel like there was a few times I found something like weird, but usually it was just like pieces of clothing or something, like maybe somebody dropped something, or like abandoned camps and bones. I guess I found bones, but there's coyotes and wolves and bears and stuff, so it's not super uncommon to see animal bones and that kind of thing. But that's just deliberate tongue tied. It was just like an elaborate joke. She just did a pun on a tree, and she's like, "This will be funny for somebody walking by," Just kidding. But no. seriously, this is really creepy, and I'd love to know what you guys think of it, what you do in this situation, and if you know anything about this, that'd be great. But yeah, I'm gonna end it there. I'm very aware of my tongue in my mouth right now, and I don't like it. I need to go. I need to go take a walk with my dogs, not in the PNW, but yeah, if you like the video, please like the video. It always helps out the channel. This is obviously the best YouTube channel ever. And if you like this type of video, let me know. I know it's still Reddit, but I thought I'd change it up a little bit. A lot of you guys have been asking for like creepy, spooky stuff. So this definitely delivered today. And yeah, I will see you in another video. All right. Also, I've kind of got more stuff to do, some fun unboxing videos and some different types of videos too for Saturday. I know some of you have asked for that. I know a lot of you like these types of videos, but I just want to keep it fresh. Keep it fresh, keep it cool, keep it different, keep you on your toes on this channel. So yeah, I'll see you then. All right, bye.